Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all having a really awesome day. Today's video is actually me painting my first oil painting, and you guys, oh my god, I am freaking obsessed with oil paints. Like, I'll talk about it a little bit later in the video, but I've never had so much fun with any type of medium, and I've never felt so at home with any type of medium, and oh my god, I just love this piece, and I hope you guys like watching it come together. So firstly, I want to wish you guys all a really happy new year, and I hope that 2017 has been really awesome for you guys so far. I'm seeing like so many posts on social media and just everywhere about how terrible last year was, and as much as I agree that there were a lot of bad things that happened last year, I am just focusing on the positive, and I'm going into this year fresh and leaving all that negativity in the past, and I actually am really looking forward to this year. Like, I really think that this is going to be like the best year yet, and I really hope that you all believe that as well. And if you're like a smaller YouTuber or someone on social media looking to grow, I hope that your channels and accounts get lots of traffic, and I know that this is going to be one awesome year full of creativity and lots of new art, and I look forward to it. And last year, I think I made like almost 30 videos in those last couple months that I was active on YouTube, and I think that's awesome. But for this year, I really want to do over 100 videos, and that definitely means I'll be back to 2 videos a week, which I think I'm going to start up like in the end of January. I'm going to be out of town in like 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks I'll be out of town. I don't know, but I'll be out of town at some point this month, and when I get back, I will definitely have 2 videos up every week, probably for the rest of the year, as long as I don't get like super busy with high school or college homework, or like going out of town again, or even just like working on other projects like commissions and things like that. Now for this painting, I actually decided that since it is my first oil painting, I would want to do something pretty familiar to me. So I decided to paint one of my original characters, and her name is Faya. And I actually painted her once before with acrylics. It was like a few months ago. I'll post a picture of it right now, but I've been drawing her for many years, and this is definitely my favorite rendition of her. And I decided to paint her in kind of like the surreal setting, of course, because I mean that's like all my art. But I put her on like these fluffy clouds and like space to really kind of give it a very otherworldly feel. And I feel like with oil paints over acrylics or any other medium, I can really get that soft look and that smooth look. And those bright colors I'm always trying to like put in my art and put everywhere, because I love using bright colors in art. And because of that dreamy look I was able to achieve, I think, I'm calling the piece Faya in DreamMyst, and I went through a lot of changes with this painting. Like, one of the cool things about oil paints is that they don't dry while you're putting the paint on the canvas, and that was one of the hard things I had to overcome with acrylics. I feel like acrylics were not my favorite medium just because I always felt rushed. And with oils, I had so much time, I was able to really change parts I didn't like about her instead of just biting the bullet and having to go with it. So I was able to kind of change her face how I wanted it. Like, originally her eyes were opened, and originally her face was a lot longer, but since the paint wasn't dry, I was able to close her eyes and just blend it all out and get everything fixed before it actually dried. Because with my oil paints and what mediums I mixed with them, they dried between like 24 and like 36 hours, so it definitely took a long time to dry, but it was worth it because I was really able to get those smooth blends and get the piece how I really wanted it. speaking of mediums and the paints in general, I was able to get an introductory set of Gamblin oil paints, and I will put the link to the set I got down below. It was like their student grade set, so it wasn't as expensive as their really expensive paints. But the set is so nice, you guys. Like, I'm obsessed with oil paints, as I've said like probably 1,000 times already in the video. But I was also able to get a couple mediums, and I bought Gamblin's Gamsol medium and their Galkyd. And both of those I used to thin out the oil paint and to clean the brushes and things like that. And Galkyd flattened and smoothed out my brush strokes, especially with like skin. I wanted to make sure that my brush strokes would not show and I'd have more of like a gem-like look to the painting. So Galkyd worked beautifully when it came to like smoothing brush strokes and just thinning the paint in general. Actually strongly recommend watching some of Lena Danya's videos if you're interested in getting started with oil painting. When I get a bit more experience, I'm sure I'll make like some intro to oil painting videos or whatever, but I binged her, like all of her videos to get started with this painting, so I totally recommend her videos and her channel in general. Now, I started this oil painting by creating an underpainting, and basically what that is it takes one like single color of the paint and then you mix it with odorless mineral spirits, or at least that's what I use to thin it, and it becomes almost like watercolors. Like, it can drip and run, and it's like really cool because the oil paints really turn into watercolors, and I love watercolors, so that was really fun. But you're supposed to use like, well, you're not supposed to, you can do what you want, but like a lot of people recommended using like brown or earthy tones for their underpainting, but my set did not have any type of like burnt sienna or burnt umber, so I just used purple because I love purple and purple is my life. And I feel like by using the purple underpainting, I kind of unified the entire piece with like more of like a purple undertone. But I'm definitely going to invest in some burnt sienna and burnt umber paint because those colors are pretty needed. And then along with the introductory set I bought, I also got a large tube of white oil paint, and then I got a violet color and a magenta color. I don't know the full names of those colors because I don't know, if I tried to pronounce them I'd probably do horrible and completely mess them up. So I will put the full names of all the products I used down below in the description. And actually, I've been, well, of course I've been on YouTube, but I've been watching art videos for the longest time on YouTube. And just now recently, I've been getting a bunch of like art related ads, like for Jerry's Artorama. And I actually decided to try out Jerry's Artorama before Christmas because in store, oil paints are super expensive, like crazy expensive. And online, they were super cheap. So it was such a nice surprise to be able to buy a lot of paints and mediums for like pretty cheap. And I definitely recommend buying your supplies online if it's more expensive things like paint. And another super amazing thing that I bought was this fluffy brush. And I don't know what type of brush it's called. It didn't have a name or anything. It was just a fluffy brush. But it is very fluffy and very wonderful. And basically, I took that fluffy brush and I used that to blend out any type of like part that I needed really smooth blending with, like the skin or the background. So I definitely recommend investing in like a really thick fluffy brush to do blending if you're oil painting. Now after the underpainting, as the layers progressed, I guess you're supposed to follow this rule called fat over lean, where, is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called. It's a rule. And I followed it, and basically for every layer I added a little bit more medium and a little less like odorless mineral spirits. So I added more and more Galkyd every layer, and I think that the end product was really awesome, and it kind of became more impasto-like towards the top and more watercolor-like towards like the first layer. Now towards the end of the painting, I started running into problems doing like the super fine details on the hair. Like I would have my like brush and I would be like, well, painting, but then my hand would get into the wet paint because again the paint takes freaking forever to dry. I actually decided instead of painting on that horizontal drafting table that I always use, I would try an easel, and I got out one of like my super old like tabletop easels I got from some random Christmas set several years ago. And I tried it out, and I love painting on an easel with oil paints. Like, I need to find a way to film myself on an easel from now on, because I made the line art super easy, and it kept my hand out of the paint, which was a massive problem the entire time, and it made the overall process much smoother. Unfortunately, my current setup only really works for like horizontal filming. I'm going to find a way to film myself at the easel for the next oil painting video, and hopefully be able to paint more like that, because I couldn't film any of the last part, and it was only like the last 30 minutes of the painting, but I still couldn't film it because I couldn't find a nice way to film myself on an easel. But you're really only missing the last little details, and of course I put the image on my iPad at the very end, and I used my iPad to brighten the whites and smooth out the background for making prints and things like that, and to just overall make it look nicer for social media. So yeah, I really love this piece, and I really hope you guys like it too. I've honestly never felt so at home with a medium, and I'm super excited for this upcoming year, and I'm going to do so many more oil paintings, and I'm going to film so many more videos and collab so much more and do everything. So I really hope you guys have a really awesome rest of your day, and let me know if you have any more videos you'd like to see. I love you all so freaking much, and I hope you have an amazing day. And I will see you next week. Oh my god. Bye.